And we didn't have the music, but that's okay. We're having a couple technical difficulties tonight, but you know what? It's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. Hello and welcome to Hey Mando, a podcast on the Merc with Movie Blog Podcast Network, where we talk about The Mandalorian. We're on season 2 right now, obviously, because that's what's airing. I'm one of your hosts, Shawn, and I'm joined as always. Hello, Dean. How's it going?
Not too bad. Dang frackick, am I happy to be here tonight. Is that the word they kept using?
Yeah.
Is that in canon? Do we know what that means?
Dank Ferrick, I think, right? Dank Ferrick is what they kept saying. Dank Ferrick. And joined to guest on this episode, my former co-host. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Shawn.
Hi, how are you?
I've never seen your face before. And hi, Dean.
Do you want to know what the funniest part about that is?
What?
That is the third time you've told me that you've never seen my face before.
I know. I'm just going to keep saying it because it's true. But they don't know that.
No. Sarah obviously hosted Beyond the Screen on this network for its...
I feel like you hosted. I was just kind of there. I was a co-host.
I said you hosted. We'll say...
You said I hosted as you hosted the show.
Look, I did it out of necessity.
Damn.
Where am I? What am I trying to... You've knocked me off course, Sarah. This is already...
That's what I'm going to do. Oh, sorry. I told...
Boba Fett and Baby Yoda, that's where you're at.
I told Jay Wade when I asked to be on the show, yes, I did ask, but I begged to be on the show, that I was just going to interrupt you and talk about how hot Timothy Oliphant was in the first episode. So if that happens,
I'm fine
you have been warned.
He did look
I have been
good.
warned. Good. I do want to say that Wade is with us in studio, but he's not feeling well, so he's not going to be a big fixture in the conversation. But of course, if he wants to chime in, I'm sure he will. I don't think we could stop him if we wanted to. This is The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 3, Chapter, I think, 11. The Heiress, directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, returning. Yeah. She directed Episode 4 last season. And written by Jon Favreau, as most of these episodes have been. Sarah, you're holding Baby Yoda in your arms right now. What did you think of this episode?
I really like this episode. As someone who did not watch the Clone Wars or Rebels, bit confused. My husband next to me was freaking out the entire time, and I'm just like, Katie Sackhoff, But I thought it was really good. It was really good. There was a lot of action, and I was attached to the characters, even though I didn't know who they were. If that makes sense.
That is a great thing to be. Dean, what did you think of the episode?
I loved it. It's definitely one of the better episodes across both seasons so far. I'm in the same boat as Sarah. I'm not familiar with the characters, all of the characters from the Rebels and Clone Wars. And they did a good job of rolling in the appropriate exposition to get you on board with everything that was going on. I thought this episode was really well directed, leaps and bounds beyond what Bryce Dallas Howard done in her last episode. I didn't even realise it was her directing.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job.
To not look now, because I like the fun of like watching the episode and trying to like spot because I know who some of the directors are. So I've and I had no idea this was Bryce Dallas' episode, so that was a nice surprise. Not sure what constitutes as a spoiler or not. We've already said the BK word, so I get that.
Yes, but we haven't said the name. We've only said the actor. It's all right. We are gonna keep it non-spoiler for like the first 15 minutes.
So sorry. No one told me the rules.
And then we're gonna cut the break, and then we're gonna talk full spoilers. But it's all right. I don't think anybody knows. Unless you're a big fan, you don't really know what that name means.
She was the frog.
She was the frog. Okay. Amazing. I really loved the episode. I don't think this will be controversial. It might be my favorite episode so far of the whole series. Definitely of season 3. No, I didn't know what people were talking about online. Okay, full disclosure, I was up until 6 a.m. last night messing around with my PlayStation 5, and then I watched the episode and went to sleep and then woke up like 4 hours ago. No, surprising absolutely nobody. So I actually don't know what people think about the episode. I haven't looked online at all because I've been busy. So I don't know if people liked it. I don't know if people disliked it. Usually I kind of check it out after I watch the episode. I go online, I see what the discourse is. I see if people are being dumb like they were last week about Peyton Reed. But specifically, one of the things I want to bring up that's not spoilers with this episode is the soundtrack, because I talk about it every week. The soundtrack is fantastic, but it's so good. Even in this episode, there's a new bit. There's a fight sequence in a hallway, and during that fight sequence, I've seen the episode twice now. That soundtrack, the music that plays during that fight sequence is incredible. It's so good. I always forget the name of the person who's actually scoring this.
Oh,
yes,
Ludwig.
Yes,
Göransson.
Yes, Ludwig Göransson. Yes.
The Black Panther guy.
Yes. Such a fantastic composer, especially for Star Wars. I mean, I enjoyed what I think it was John Powell did Solo and Michael Giacchino did Rogue One. I enjoyed what both of them did in those movies, but neither of those have hit how Ludwig Göransson is hitting for Mandalorian consistently.
Really, I love the Rogue One score. I thought that was incredible.
I thought it was really good. I like both of their scores. I didn't think either of them were bad, but they don't hit me the same way the Mando score does.
No, I think he's as a composer for Star Wars, it's like same with Bryce Dallas Howard. He's kind of finding more of a Star Warsy kind of groove. The more we've seen from him, he's getting more bold with some of the choices, and we talked about it last week. They're just inserting those bursts and going from the slow Western stuff and into the more orchestral stuff, and balance the two has been a lot more consistent so far this season.
What I think really works with this score for me is that it doesn't feel like he's trying to imitate John Williams. Whereas to me, with the Rogue One and Solo scores, I really enjoy them. They definitely feel like they're trying to be John Williams. And I don't think Ludwig Göransson is trying to do that. It feels very different, but also it fits in the universe. And I can't stop praising him until I die. I'm really trying to think about stuff that we can talk about that's non-spoilers, but literally the biggest things happen. We can talk about the planet. It's cool. We got to see an ocean planet this episode.
Mon Calamari.
It was in the trailers. Yes, we got to see a bunch of Mon Calamari.
I assume
it's not Mon Cala. It's not their planet, but they are there. No, it's not Mon Cala.
Because it just seemed like it was so densely populated with sea creatures, primarily the calamari dudes, that I assume that it must have been their planet. The whole fish town vibe going on. The woolly jumpers, the whole look was really authentic to old seasidey kind of dock towns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it really, really had that dirty, damp vibe. Which I was a big fan of that. Dirty, damp vibe, apparently.
And they also had a bunch of Quarren. The Quarren also are from the Mon Calamari's home planet. And I don't really know if we've seen a ton of them in live action before in Star Wars, maybe in the background of stuff. But it was very cool to get to see a large amount of Quarren in one spot. Yes, Sarah, what's up?
Were they the squid people?
Yes, I'm calling on you.
The Davy Jones lookalike.
Yes. I said, this is pretty cool that Davy Jones, what's happening? I was like, it's confirmed, it's a crossover. Especially when they were on the boat at one point. I was like, this is it. This is my crossover.
Is it weird to have boats? I mean, I get that it's an ocean planet, but is it weird to have boats? Would you not just have kind of hover boats? And then you kind of away from the damage of the sea. That was one thing that was kind of on my mind this whole episode. Small thing,
I didn't think of that.
I mean, in episode 9, we see Rey use the boat.
Yeah, that's what I was
to get to
gonna
the
say.
Death Star.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Forgot about that.
I do. It is like, it is a question that you always ask. Is like, why? Like when you're watching Star Wars, I feel like sometimes you're like, that should fly. You know, like why is it rolling or something? Why, like, you know, it should be hovering or something. But you should just they fly now. They fly now.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking. They float now, you know.
They float now, exactly. Without spoilers, I'm really, because this is an episode. Like the main thing of the episode is a spoiler, right?
It's
the
pretty
plot.
Like the main plot.
I've got a couple of things that are kind of like in the beginning of the episode that I really like the ship falling apart at the beginning, the doors flapping off. I liked how we kind of just rolled straight in, and you know it wasn't. In season 1, one of the big critiques was how every episode was just so, you know, compartmentalized, and in this season so far, seems like they've deliberately had the ending of the previous episode bleed into the intro to the following episode. It seems like a very conscious choice. It makes it feel more serialized as opposed to like a procedural, which was kind of what the first season felt like. So I really enjoyed that. And,
yes, I agree.
And we keep cutting to
what
the
do you guys
edge
think of the length?
away.
Oh, oops, sorry. You guys are like delayed on mine, so you guys don't start talking until like 5 seconds after you start talking, or I don't hear you guys start to talk until like 5 seconds after. Sorry.
Length.
Yes, the eggs.
It keeps cutting to them, and I had me expecting something to happen the whole time. I was so anxious about the situation, and is it a spoiler to say what the eggs start hatching? That's not a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
We're not that invested in the lore of the frog lady that the egg hatching is a spoiler.
Speak for yourself.
I am. Yeah, right. The frog lady.
I was like tearing up. I was like, this is so cute when they're like
when they reunited in the dock, like an old war movie. That was really amazing. Cute. The frog lady and the frog dude, and they see each other across the dock, and it was, you know, like something like the 1940s. I was expecting him to turn around and be like, "Where's the rest of them?"
That's what I said. Did they not realize how many were in the tank? Like, I don't understand.
He had a tank as well, which I assume is the sperm, I guess, or however that process works, and they meet with their tanks of goo and put them together, and which they did in front of the child while Mando was away. So that we didn't get to see that. So poor child got to see some really messed up frog mating ritual. You know, about don't do it in front of the kids. But I digress.
No, yeah. The frog lady was my favorite part of last episode. As I've said, Wade did give us the name. It is the Moon of Trask, the estuary Moon of Trask, is where this episode takes place. I do want to hit on the length because it's a short episode. It's like 35 minutes. They use the episode though.
It wasn't just me.
It's not a wasted moment, or you know, not left wanting for anything. Really, no. I mean, I would have liked the cliffhanger.
I would have liked more. I can't talk about who I would have liked more of because it's a spoiler. But there's a certain character I would have liked a lot more of. But I did think the length is fine. They spent a lot of money on this episode. The effects were incredible. The opening is just like a feast for the eyes. It's crazy.
Yeah, the first episode, I pointed out how sometimes it's very obvious where they kind of using the backdrop, the screens, and everything else. But in this one, it was like I didn't even question it at all in the episode. Like, I guess they just found some horrible alien dot somewhere. Like, you know, because it just didn't even occur to me. Like, while I was watching it at all, I was completely immersed in that whole dank environment, unfortunately, for better or worse.
Yes.
Again, just dancing around.
Yeah, I think there's really no way to talk about this without getting into the spoilers. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut to break. And when we get back, we are going to talk about the things that happened in this episode. So we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, this is Sarah, host of Go Get That Rose podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to talking about all things Bachelor Nation. Join Jay Wade, a man in his 40s who is recently new to all things Bachelor Nation, and myself, someone who has been watching passionately for the past 3 years, as we review, share our thoughts on each episode of whatever show is currently on TV, whether that is Bachelor, Bachelorette, or Bachelor in Paradise. We might not even know everyone's name, but we have fun nonetheless. You can find us on Merc with a Movie blog feed wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn. You guys might know me on this feed from co-hosts and Beyond the Screen, but now here at Merc with the Movie Blog, we have started a brand new show exclusively for video games called Game Over Screen. So join me every week with my co-hosts.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Brendan.
And I'm Tyler.
As we talk about everything video game related, and when we, I guess, get to the Game Over Screen. I don't know, I don't have a good pun for that, but the joke is that we're going to die a lot in the game.
Well, you might.
Hey, Jay Wade here to tell you about SEN Afterlife, our SEN Live After Show, where we talk about, well, whatever Christian, Brett, and the rest of the crew talk about and the insanity that ensues. So join us each week here on Merc with the Movie Blog feed on your podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube now on the SEN Afterlife channel. Talk to you then.
And we are back. Listen to those shows; they are all so great. And let's just get into the spoiler. Let's just do it. This episode had a special guest on it. The one and only Katie Sackhoff reprising her role as Bo-Katan from Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Thank you. There she is. I forgot I had that there. She looks incredible, by the way. Exactly like the character in the show. She looks like that is the best to life, like animation to live action recreation, maybe because they, use the actress that voiced her. Incredible. She's, as soon as I saw that helmet, but I do want to bring up that SEN, I'm looking at my notes and I have SENAL and I skipped some letters there. SNL. Yes, SNL wants to be on the show, the entire cast. SEN Afterlife had a interview with Katie Sackhoff a little while ago. It should be on their YouTube channel, so if you guys want to check that out, I highly encourage that you do that. Wade is an amazing host. But yeah, besides that, okay, can we just, I'm sorry, I want to look at her one more time.
Her
eyebrow. Look at the helmet. Look at the helmet. I'm not even look at the helmet. That helmet, it looks exactly like her helmet in the show. It looks so amazing. The outfits look great. I love the blue. I love everything about it.
Is that a headband?
That's what I was wondering.
It's like a headband. It's keeping her hair back. It's keeping her hair back.
Yeah, but it's like it was like metal. These are the questions we want to know.
Sometimes you gotta wear metal. You just gotta wear some metal. That's what you want to know.
That's what me, the female viewer, wants to know. What's up with her eyebrows and why is she wearing a metal headband?
I was thinking it's got like little lights on it. I'm thinking, is it like some crazy like anti-grav hairband that actually locks your hair in place?
And then the other girl had like braids, which I dig the braid like thing going on.
Are the other two? Are they?
Yes.
They're from.
They are.
Oh
no,
no, they're not.
Okay, never mind.
I thought these come
I thought they were too. I thought they were important people that crossed over, but I guess not.
Well, no, but
sorry.
According to Bo-Katan,
got the markings on her helmet, but they haven't got the markings. So I figured there was like an established hierarchy, which they do in the exposition as well. They lay out that Bo-Katan is the heir to the whole like planet. Is that how it works, or just that clan? Or
My husband told me
She's
this.
the head
He's
of her
filming
clan.
it.
She can't be the leader of Mandalore until she has the Darksaber, which obviously is in the hands of Moff Gideon right now. But she was the sister of the last Duchess of Mandalore.
And when
she
we
has
Satine.
Satine.
Oh, I was gonna say the other girl. That's not her name. Never mind.
No. The last Duchess was Duchess Satine. This is all Clone Wars stuff. If you can go, there's a ton of episodes in the Clone Wars that deal with this. But Bo-Katan is her sister and the rightful ruler of the Mandalorian people, really. I want to know what happened, right? Because at the end of Rebels, she had the Darksaber.
That was going to be my question. Did she have the Darksaber when he left her in?
She was going to end up running the Mandalorians, and obviously that didn't happen. Moff Gideon has it, and that's not a good thing.
Do you think we're going to get that story, and how do we get it?
Question. Sorry, what was that, Dean?
Where would we get that story? Will we get that story? You think we'll see that in a flashback, or could that be like a book or a series or something else down the line? That's a pretty integral. That's a pretty juicy storyline, right?
Maybe they're opening it up. Maybe she'll get her own spin-off show.
That's what I'm saying. Is if her whole arc, presumably in Rebels, kind of builds up to that, and then coming into this episode, you're kind of like, well, that's all moot because she doesn't have it now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that a lot of people would be wanting to know how that went down. You know, I didn't watch Rebels, and I'm curious. So, I assume we're going to find out eventually.
Wade is giving us some information, telling us Axe Woves was the girl Mandalorian, and
no, the boy Mandalorian.
Oh, the boy was Axe Woves.
Oh,
and
the lady
Reeves was the woman,
right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Nothing.
Okay.
I thought
I'm really struggling right now. Mercedes Bernardo is the actress who plays the female Mandalorian, and Simon Cassianides, that's a difficult last name to say, played the male Mandalorian. Wade is bringing up that he did look like a clone trooper. He did look like a clone trooper. I don't think he was. He'd be way old at this point with the accelerated growth and everything. Like the clones should look like decrepit at this point with how quickly they age. But I thought they were cool. Did we ever find out who Sasha Banks was, or did she just appear and then disappear?
I was wondering that. Is that
the girl with
the
with the peacoat?
Right. Isn't that Sasha Banks?
I thought that was the girl Mandalorian for some reason. Like I thought that was just her like spying on him. Well, I couldn't tell because she had a little. I don't think it is because she had the braids, but I was like, oh, maybe the hood was just covering it, but that's probably not true. Okay, she was in the black hood. Well,
I'm pretty sure
I thought it was the same person.
The cloaked figure is confirmed to be Sasha Banks, and she did not play the other Mandalorian, so it's a different person. No idea what that was. She's just there in the background.
She's following him.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some information next episode.
Can we jump back a second into when they before they show up? We nearly lost the child. Did anyone else like freak out?
Oh, I freak out every episode.
Yes.
Because
I'm like, no!
You've got to assume that everyone in Star Wars is playing some kind of game, but I've always assumed that the Mon Calamari and those, I've always pictured them in my mind as like quite wholesome people, and that image was shattered in this because the fishy dudes are just that. They are fishy dudes. They are not trustworthy at all. And they're saying, oh, just have a look, just have a look how we feed the thing. And then out of nowhere, just yeet into the Like,
I was screaming.
I had a split second in my brain of just like crisis of like, where do we go now? Like, he's not going to go in there and in the creature. Obviously, they did, but you know, it really had my heart racing. I should have known better. They weren't going to kill him, but man, that was sudden.
I don't think they will kill Baby Yoda, but I'm still fearful every time they like put him in
It gives
danger.
me so much anxiety.
There's still a part of me that's like, they could. They might just screw us over and kill him.
Oh man, the only way they ever do that is if in the very next episode we find a warehouse with lots of clones of Baby Yodas, and I don't think we're going to get that either.
They're not throwing that money away that they're making.
It's like a toy shop with all the shelves.
It becomes real meta. They just take one down. My question is, why all of a sudden is Baby Yoda not like using his powers anymore? Like, we got him doing all kinds of crazy stuff the first season. Now he literally does nothing. He just sits there, it's so cute. But I'm like, come on, like, pull your weight. Let's go.
Every time they cut to him, I'm thinking, is he going to do something?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's intentional. Like they know that we're waiting for that. And when he's got his, when he's looking up the glass at the eggs and the eggs hatching, and it's like, is he going to eat them, or is he going to have like an emotional connection? Is he going to kind of realize that what he was doing in the last episode was wrong? And it's still kind of unclear. I don't think he cares. He doesn't care.
Like, oh my god, they were real, and I was eating them.
Speaking of food, when a Baby Yoda's eating the chowder and the food tries to eat him, I was like, yeah, you see what it feels like.
The show is obsessed with like face huggers all of a sudden. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I just felt so vindicated for the eggs. The last episode when the little squid tried to face hug Baby Yoda, it's like, that's what you deserve. And then, of course, he nearly actually got eaten. And then I felt very bad for thinking that.
I didn't want it to happen like this.
It was a journey. It was a journey, for sure.
Yeah. Are you still there, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure. We lost. That's right. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna keep going. I don't know if it's Streamlabs or if everybody's internet is Streamlabs. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if everybody's internet is collectively deciding to be weird today. But
everyone's doing their Mandalorian
they're definitely
show.
Having a time tonight. Yes. Yeah. I started it, and everybody was like, "If Shawn's gonna have a shitty connection, everybody's gonna start turning off cameras." And no, it is what it is. We're gonna soldier through it. We're gonna talk about this episode because I want to talk about the action in this episode because oh my god, it was so good. This is like you got to see why people are scared of the Mandalorians. 4 of them took over an entire Imperial ship. It was incredible when they're like coming through the smoke and you just see their silhouettes of the 4 of them. Pew, 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 pew. Oh my god,
that was one of the best shots of the whole thing. This scene reminded me of 2 things. First, I was thinking this was the Captain America, the train scene from the first Captain America movie.
Yes,
very similar to that. And I've forgotten what the other thing that I was going to say is now. But the it's gone. But the directing in this, I thought was really cool. They had they did a lot of like low angle shots in that corridor that felt very reminiscent of the like the corridor scenes in the original trilogy when they're in the Death Star. I was half expecting somebody to jump through a garbage chute off to the side at one point because it just looked like they were really aping that style. Which was great, you know, it wasn't like in a bad, distracting way or anything. It just felt like Star Wars. So it was me trying to figure out, watching it, like, who's directing this episode? Because they've really got, like, just some of these angles just felt Star Wars-y, which is a weird thing to think about, really.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
Yeah,
I think, I think Bryce Dallas Howard did a fantastic job. I really like episode 4 of last season. I know a lot of people not so much.
I did not like it.
Yeah. I think it was even a step up from her for this episode. I enjoyed this episode more than I enjoyed episode 4 of last season, and it's just the action was directed so incredibly. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it so much.
That's the other thing I was going to say. Is it reminded me also of the Phantom Menace, the opening scene of Phantom Menace, where you talk about they're coming through the smoke, and you've got the Jedi's cutting through the door, and that anxiety of these guys are scary. This is why they've got their name, and it was the same thing. It was almost like that horror movie in reverse vibe, where we're rooting for the killers.
Yeah,
almost. That was so cool. One thing I didn't like about the action scene was kind of the big kind of crescendo of that whole bit was I'm just going to walk into them and get shot a bunch of times and then throw a grenade was kind of the big plan.
That was weird.
It was effective, but it felt a bit weird. I'm just going to walk. And if the shots are just bouncing off of him, then why is he dodging the rest of the time?
Yeah.
If he's like just bulletproof or blast-proof.
I think what he was doing was he was tucking in on himself so that the Beskar pieces were covering up the other parts, because there are like breaks in between the Beskar and his armor. Yeah, so I think that's because he looked weird when he was running. So it looked like he was almost tucked in on himself. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what he was doing, is he was making himself small and covering himself with as much Beskar as possible and just sprinting at them.
It kind of made sense. It just seemed weird as like a kind of action choice. But I guess, I'd rather that than, better than backflipping and stuff. Yeah, so that's cool. It's cool. Which they do as well, kind of. They're sliding down the side of the train and like all of that stuff, like the coordination was pretty good.
Yeah. When that one dude just grabs a stormtrooper and flies off with him and then drops him on the cockpit window, I was like, all right, these are the Mandalorians, dude. Sarah, I want to know from you an approximation of how many times you cried because of how cute Baby Yoda is.
Oh, that's impossible. I just love him. I've had to control myself because my husband has gotten upset at me and has been like, babe, like you're being too loud, because I've just been like, oh my God, he's so cute. And he's like, calm down, like stop. But anytime he's on screen, I'm just like, look at him, he's just so cute. I mean,
and when he's collecting him at the end of the episode and he doesn't want to leave the frog people, and it's like,
they're so cute.
It's like, is that like a little arc for the child there, where he's he's kind of gone from eating them to bonding with them, and it's like
I think he was trying to eat it.
You think he was?
I thought he was bonding. Like, that's my friend.
No, I thought he was trying to grab it. I thought he was trying to get it
at the end when he was pulling him away.
I thought he was trying to get to.
Here, look after this kid who just ate half of your kids, and they're just like, we'll take him back.
He's like, don't do anything. And I was like, you're going to tell him that, like, hey, he ate half of your children, but can you watch him? I'll be back.
Either those frog people are really stupid, or they're just the kindest, warmest frog people you've ever met.
I mean, they do owe him.
I love the frog people.
I guess.
I love them. I love them so much.
My one thought watching the little tadpole frog thing in the bowl, it looked like the little Demogorgon in season 2 of Stranger Things when Dustin has it, that it like grows into the full size one. That's my first thought. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was like, is it gonna go like all horror movie again? Like, is it gonna hatch and then remember that he was eating them and then like come out after him? Do they retain memory? I don't know how sentient these tadpoles are. I'm not the one eating them.
Do they have names? We just keep calling them the frog people. Like, does it have an actual? Like...
Literally, in the last episode, it literally, if you watch it with subtitles, it literally just says "frog lady," and then it says "frog lady speaks in frog."
That's so funny. The design is really cool, though. Like it looks really good.
Oh, I love the design of the frog people. They look. Incredible.
I love her. She's so cute.
I do want to bring up. Because Wade would be mad if I didn't. Last episode, Mando said he couldn't speak frog. In this episode, he straight up talks to the other frog dude. He straight up is like,
I
but I
You're gonna
don't
be in
think
the
he
end?
was
Okay, cool.
understanding what he was saying.
I think they can understand him, but he can't understand them.
That's what my husband said.
I thought he
But-
was understanding them. I thought the frog dude said something, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll meet you in the end then." And I was like, "Don't you not understand
maybe.
them?"
Maybe he was. I thought, I don't know. Maybe just like reading kind of, just the body language and the situation, and just kind of common sensing his way through it as much as you can.
At the end of the day, it's not a big deal,
no.
you know. But I knew Wade was dying to bring it up, so I was gonna bring it up.
The food in this
Yeah,
show
I'm
looks
getting a thumbs up
disgusting,
from
though.
Wade.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, Star Wars food always kind of looks like a.
I don't
disgusting.
understand.
It
I was like,
never
why
looks
would you eat
appetizing.
that?
They've got that big tube above the table, and you just be able to sit down. That's the
It's just a
easiest
lump.
waiting job ever.
That's true. Yeah, what's the point of it? Why did the guy have to do that? They couldn't just do it themselves? Like,
what am I tipping her for? Like, come on, I'll just grab it.
yeah.
Just eat all you want, chowder buffet.
Are we gonna talk about the bad guy in the ship?
I want to talk
What's
about him,
his name?
but first I want to. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the bad guy first, and then we'll talk about the other thing. But
It's
the bad
Bosch.
guy.
I don't know his actual name. Yeah, it's the guy that plays Bosch. And if you watch Supernatural, he's on an episode of Supernatural
I
too.
thought it was the guy who was in Preacher. Anyone watch Preacher? And there's a villain called Heiress in Preacher. I think it was the same actor. I might be wrong, but I really love the actor if it's him.
Like Titus, is that right? Hold on, I'm gonna look.
But I loved how these guys, like in I'll just vamp if you guys are looking. The like when we see like Imperial officers, they are very like, they are hardcore, committed to the cause. These guys just seem kind of just weary, just like, I guess this is our job, you know. Even at the last moment, the main guy was just like, I guess I've got, it's like, what to do. It's like, yeah, I know. They weren't like those religious zealots like we normally get, with the Imperials. It kind of just speaks to the politics of how everything shaped out after the destruction of the second Death Star, and what we saw last episode with like the new, what they called the New Republic, and kind of we saw how they kind of progressed from the rebels, and they're more in control, and now we're seeing these Imperials, and they're kind of on the other side. They're definitely on the falling side. You can see them they're obviously scrambling because they're trying to steal weapons on a fish planet, so obviously they're scrambling.
His name is Titus Welliver. He was in a couple episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Towards the beginning, he played Agent Blake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I watched it. I don't know who that is.
That's what I remember him from. Minor character.
That girl, Sasha Banks, was the other female.
She was.
I'm pretty sure.
Was she?
Right.
Because it says Sasha Banks, Keosha Reeves, or whatever, as Mercedes. That's what IMDb says. So.
It seemed like a weird aside if it was like the same character. It seemed like
apparently it's her.
Removed.
It is her. Yeah, she was just following them.
He was just scouting him out before the
That's what IMDb says. Don't yell at me.
IMDb says
Mercedes. Okay, that's her real name.
Okay, but
Mercedes Bernardo is her real name.
But she was
Sasha Banks is a stage name. So yes, same person. Yes,
it is right.
That makes more sense now.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're just dumb, not wrestling people.
I didn't fucking know that. I thought her real name was Sasha Banks. I had no clue.
Whoops. It's fine. We took the journey. We got there.
With the bad guys, I really enjoyed that they're like, close the doors, both the doors. We got him. Where is he? In the control room. In the what?
Yeah.
Whoosh.
I was like, how dumb is this guy?
I love the way he stood when he was waiting for the elevator. He was in like the most action hero stance he could think of, and then immediately when they came out of the elevator, he was like, "Nah, fuck this."
Nah, he's like hiding.
No, I'm not dying today. Yeah.
It took them so long to realise that they were standing in the wrong place. Nobody figured that out before. They should have known. I didn't see it coming, but they should have.
Yeah. He said that so confident.
As soon as he said that, as soon as he was like, it's in the as soon as they were like, she's
in the cargo control.
They're in the control room. Yeah, I was like, in the control room. Oh, you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
But then the Imperials didn't care because they're on the bridge and they're fine, so they don't kind of mirrors real life.
Well, were they?
Well, they didn't.
They ended up not being fine.
But in the moment, they thought they were fine.
Oh.
I just had one thing that I had to bring up that you guys hadn't mentioned yet. That was maybe one of the best parts that I've ever seen in any Star Wars. That for me, it just made it more real as far as like our reality, our world. When the Mandalorians were going into the cargo and the dude's like, shut the doors, and he's just yelling, shut all of them, shut all the doors. It was like a legit, genuine fear that I could see taking place here on Earth. And I don't know, that was for me one of the best parts of the thing, but I just had to say that.
No, I think that's one of the best parts.
A small thing that bugged me about that is when the ship starts like leaning up, they can see just walking along the corridor.
Yeah, I guess they got.
I don't know how I don't know how if they've got like on board like artificial gravity or whatever. Because whichever way the ship was tilting, they were always able to just carry on about their business without too much.
That's true.
Again,
they weren't like.
The explosion shouldn't really make sounds and everything in space, so it's not a massive thing. But I was expecting to get like some Inception, they're all tumbling around inside the ship. But they were fine, and it's not a big deal. One thing
I really liked with the Imperials was that that dude fucking killed himself. Like he like took essentially a cyanide tablet, but it's just like an electric thing.
Have you seen that before?
Yeah, no, that is one of the darkest things I've ever seen in live action Star Wars. I don't think I've ever seen anybody kill themselves in live action Star Wars. That was extremely dark.
And they also, I noticed on my second watch, he refers to like some kind of beacon or something that they sent up. So I don't know if it's got in the capsule or in the it sends out like a shockwave signal that seems to notify, which I thought was really cool. It's like a dual purpose cyanide pill, which and
dual purpose.
And I bet it makes your breath fresh as well,
I'm sure. Nice and shockingly fresh. But yeah, I like that they're like, long live the Empire, and he just fucking kills those two dudes and then kills himself. Like, and I also really appreciate, this is really dumb, but in the book Lost Stars, a big part of that book is that the Imperials are taught in the Academy that if somebody's going to take your ship, you blow it up. You destroy that ship. You don't give up the ship. If somebody's taking the ship, you either blow it up or you fly it into the ground and destroy it. And that's a big plot point in Lost Stars. So I really appreciated in this show when the ship was lost, the Imperials are like, all right, fly the thing into the fucking planet. We're done. Yeah. Like they don't get to take the ship. We're gonna destroy it.
No. But the main dude seemed like that he was in for that. But the other two dudes, they didn't.
They weren't into it. They weren't into it.
They weren't into it. Because one of them looked nervous the whole time before things even started going badly.
Yeah.
And then it went.
He probably realized what was going to happen. He was like, "We're going to get fucking hijacked."
He saw the writing on the wall
from
the beginning. Yeah,
dude.
He's like, I've seen the other movies. I know what happens to us.
Yeah, this is not going to go well for me.
But yeah, that's like all the Imperial stuff. I was really happy to see Imperials. I love seeing Imperials. I thought that was really cool. I liked the sets. I liked the armor. I liked everything. I do want to talk about as well. We got some big Mandalorian information this episode that I've been waiting on, because as a fan of Clone Wars and Rebels, I've known that the whole don't take off the helmet thing is bullshit. Like, that's not a thing in Mandalorian culture.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting for an explanation of, like, why is this something that's so important to him? And I really liked it when Bo-Katan takes off the helmet and he's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, oh, you're one of those motherfuckers. You're one of the Death Watch cult.
I liked it, but I thought it was pretty risky because for a lot of people, myself included, this is our first real exposure to the Mandalorian culture, and we're looking at it through our Mandalorians, you know, from his perspective. So as far as we, the audience, are concerned, this is like the way that he does it is Mandalorian culture until this moment when it gets revealed. And I just think it was weird to introduce us to such like a, you know, what is essentially a religious extremist angle on it. And I just think it's kind of could potentially be confusing to the audience. Like, this is what a Mandalorian is. No, this is what a Mandalorian is. No, this is what a Mandalorian is. And I know enough. Like, I knew that he, you know, I knew that they was a fringe group that did the helmet thing. I knew because I've seen clips from Rebels, you know, where they've obviously got the helmets off and stuff. So I put it together. But I just thought that was a really weird choice to. I mean, it's cool because I guess then we can go through his eyes and learn about the true Mandalorian culture, I guess, and we can kind of learn it with as he presumably will learn more about that. It's kind of a bit of a slap in the face to him to be like, yeah, you're just like, you know, some extreme left-wing lunatic. Yeah.
And I love that. I love that so much. Cool. I cannot wait to see how. I hope that we get some time of him like coming to terms with like, I was raised by death cult. Like I really want that. I really want to see how he's going to struggle with that because it's a big deal. Like, he prides himself so much in being a Mandalorian, and to the people outside of his clan, he's a fucking crazy person. Like, he's literally a brainwashed kid to these other people outside of his clan, to the majority of the Mandalorians. So I'm really interested to see how that would affect him.
Does he start questioning it? Do you think we start seeing more of him taking the helmet off? Or does he stick to his principles because we can't afford to pay Pedro Pascal?
To be in it every...
You know? Like, or are we just going to write around that? Or is he going to start... Are we going to start seeing more of him? Because that's kind of the appeal in a lot of ways. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see which side...
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
No, because it's more expensive.
No. Yeah, but I think maybe like last season he'll come to terms with it and he'll take off the helmet in a big moment. But I really enjoyed that. Hang on, I'm sorry. As like such a fan of the animated stuff, I want to look at her again. It looks just like Bo-Katan from the show. It like I have never seen something translated from animation to live action. And so well. It looks just like her. Oh. Anyways, I'm gonna bring that up. I hope
she does.
Ahsoka looks a fraction as accurate as Bo-Katan did. I don't. I'm really worried about that. But we did finally.
That's gonna be interesting.
In live action. In live action, for the first time, we heard Ahsoka Tano's name. Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan gave Mando the planet where he can find Ahsoka. I hope we do that next episode. I really hope we don't get an episode that where something happens while he's traveling. I really just want to get there and get the Ahsoka stuff.
Yeah, I'll take you to Ahsoka Tano if you do this mission. Every time, even the beginning of this episode. I'll tell you where she is if you help me get that ship. It's just like the video gaminess of that. Like, it's like we've had it like basically the same plot structure like 3 times now. And I think the next episode has got to, hopefully if we see Ahsoka Tano, it's going to kind of branch off and do something different. Because I thought this episode was going in a completely different direction. I thought we was going to spend the whole episode on the boat. And it was going to be like a perfect storm fighting the Kraken kind of thing. And he was going to help the fishermen like fight like a big squid or whatever. And then obviously they eat Baby Yoda who went a different way. They did.
They did.
Maybe
they did. And they got what they deserved.
They did. They all died.
They got what they deserved.
But they
They
still
all
tried
got
to come back
slaughtered,
at him
and that's
after.
what they deserved.
Yeah, they still called him out.
And those
"You
guys
killed
got
our
killed
brother."
too.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Do you think that I can't say her name, but do you think that she'll come back in a later episode, or do you think we're
She
done
has
with
to.
Katie
She
Sackhoff?
has to. There's no way that was it. There's no
But
way. She's too important to like the Mandalorian culture to not.
That's
Now,
true.
after you introduce
All
the
that
literal,
stuff.
she is who the title is referring to. The heiress is Bo-Katan. She is the rightful ruler of the Mandalorians. And once you introduce that into the show called The Mandalorian, you can't
There's
pull
no
that
going
back.
back. No. Here's
What
how
if-
I think.
What if he dies and she takes over the show? Well, they're like, we've had enough of
I don't think they'll
Pedro.
do
Get
that.
him
They're
out.
gonna be fine. They can kill off Gina Carano's character and replace her with Bo-Katan, and I'd be completely fine with that. There's your replacement for Gina Carano right there. Bring in Bo-Katan. I thought Cara Dune was fine. Cara Dune is a cool character. Bo-Katan's a much more interesting character than Cara Dune, and I like.
Just
Cara
bring
Dune.
back Timothy Oliphant. Bring him back every episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be the dream team.
Love him.
Bo-Katan, Cobb Vanth, and Din Djarin just
Is
flying
he the
around
hottest
the
guy to
universe
be in
doing
Star
stuff.
Wars? Yes.
Yes. The answer
I'm
is
bringing
yes.
it back.
The answer is
Let's
yes.
start talking about Adam Driver again. Okay. Shawn knows.
Oh wait, no, he can't be.
No.
He's the
Timothy
the
Oliphant's
hottest
hot,
guy that's than Adam
He's
Driver.
hot.
I guess.
Timothy, he has that nice little salt and pepper. I told you I'm gonna take us off the
I
rails.
don't know, man. Anakin was pretty hot at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
When he was, I was like, you ain't wrong. He was, and then he was crispy.
You know, no legs, no arms. I'm down. Let's go. We'll make it work.
But did
Oh my
Timothy
God.
does Timothy Oliphant have his own Ben Swallow moment? Because he doesn't. He doesn't.
Not yet.
Ben Swallow exists.
No, but that hair, man. That hairline is so good.
Adam Driver has incredible hair.
Fair
I don't
point.
know.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Adam Driver
Bring
looks
him
like
back.
Bring.
Bring. That's gonna be a separate episode. We're just gonna argue who the hottest male in Star Wars is.
I'd love that, like a Star Wars dating show or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. You know how they
I
did,
want
like,
the next season of
celebrity-
The Bachelor to be Star Wars.
Okay, we can do it. Let's do it. We'll do Go Get That Rose, Hey Mando crossover. And we'll have like Padme as our bachelorette and then all the different Star Wars male contestants.
You got to
There
be
we go.
careful though, because a lot of the males are related to Padme.
Go get that Mando.
Go Get That Mando.
Go get that Mando! Yes.
It could be Ray. We'll do
Ray
Ray
would
because
insist.
Ray's not really related to anyone of importance.
Yes.
So
Yeah, if people
All right.
aren't related to anyone in Star Wars, that'd be a lot better for
be
everyone.
Ray. Finn.
Yeah.
We don't care. We'll do Finn and all the guys. That's fine.
Yeah. You find something to do.
Rose.
All right, let's wrap
Anyway.
things up. I want to hear from Sarah, Dean. I want you guys to tell me: do you think Ahsoka Tano is in the next episode?
No. Should I say why? Oh.
Go on.
Why do you think she's not in the next episode?
I think they're gonna, because they dropped a little nugget with in the first episode with the person. I don't know, was that a spoiler? I mean, whatever. They dropped that little nugget. We haven't seen anything from him, and then they drop Ahsoka, and I think we're gonna wait like an episode or two. I think we'll see her until before like the end, but I think it's gonna be like an episode or two.
They do specifically make a point.
I'll give you a
to
little
say
nugget
that.
of information.
That's true. That's true.
I'm going to give you guys a little nugget of information really quick. The next episode is directed by Carl Weathers, and the episode after that
really?
is Dave Filoni's episode. Yes.
Okay.
So I think it will be Dave Filoni's episode, because isn't that his character that he created? Yeah.
With Carl Weathers, maybe fix his ship
Carl
up a little
Weathers.
bit.
Here's my guess. This is my big brain theory. I don't think this
maybe
is
at
gonna
the
happen,
end of the episode.
Next episode, no Mando in the whole thing. The whole next episode is just Gina Carano and Carl Weathers. We catch up on those two characters. We spend all the next episode with them. We catch up with Gideon.
They're just sitting at a table.
After that, we do Ahsoka. Yes, it's My Dinner with Andre, but with those two. And episode after that, we meet Ahsoka, and then the episode after that one, everybody comes together, and we get Gina Carano and Carl Weathers and all that.
Yeah.
I
mean,
are they in the next episode? Is that why you're saying that?
I would assume so. Carl Weathers directed the next episode. I assume he's in it.
He's got to be in it, which means that he stays on that planet from season 1, right? So, or do they go off somewhere? I can't remember where they're at.
We're just chasing him. We just see him go to all the different places.
You can't go back there, right? Because things got pretty nasty, and they all had to kind of scatter out.
It looks like it worked out because they stayed behind to like put things back together. So
did it work out when all them heads were rolling around? Is that working out for you?
We don't know. I think we're gonna find out next episode how they've been doing.
How the landscape of that place.
I think Mando's he's probably gonna visit them.
He's gotta go back, get a new ship, get it fixed up, and then.
Yeah, he's gonna have a little pit stop, little R&R.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to hear from you guys really quickly before we end this. I want to hear your guys' rankings of these first 3 episodes. I meant to start this last time, but I didn't. So, Dean, I want to hear from you first. How would you rank these 3 episodes?
That's tough. That's really tough. I've liked all 3 of them, which is the least fun way to rank them.
Even.
I think the other 2 were better directed. This one had a much better script and story and everything else. No, this is the best. This is the best one. Then I'm gonna go episode 2, then episode 1. So just descend in order.
Oh, okay. Sarah, what do you think?
I feel like it's hard because episode 2 kind of sets up this episode because you get to meet the frog lady and stuff like that. But I would say this episode, then episode 1, and then episode 2, just because I hated the spider things. I hated it.
The only reason, because there's so many reasons to put the first episode above the second episode, but I just think the second one just really hit the horror vibe and the tension. It's just in a way that we haven't seen in Star Wars, and I just love the way that it was directed. As much as I think the other 2, the Mandalorian heavy episodes had much better scripts and stories. I just really like the direction of episode 2.
Yeah,
maybe.
But Timothy Oliphant. No, I was kidding.
I know.
I was actually gonna say.
That's your favorite.
Well, I agree with you, Dean, that I think that episode 2 is the better directed episode, and it has I really like the horror vibes of it. I am agreeing with Sarah. Mine is chapter 11, chapter 9, chapter 10, mostly because Bo-Katan and Cobb Vanth. Bo-Katan steals this episode, and Cobb Vanth steals episode 9. They're both incredible, and I love both the characters, and I love the spectacle of both episodes.
Yeah. My concern is that we're going we've had 2 episodes now with heavy fan favorite Mandalorian-ish characters coming back, and it's well, where do we go? Was the last episode going to be 50 Mandalorians? Are we going to get the Mandalorian?
I hope so.
Are we going to get the Mandalorian? There's a whole civil war or something. I don't know. It's just they're setting the bar really high, basically, and they've got to keep pushing it, which I trust that they will, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. Wade, do you want to either go ahead and list your top your ranking, or do you want to type it in chat or something for us, just so I can have it written down?
I'll just say that I completely agree with Dean. He nailed it right on the head as far as I'm concerned.
And
okay, so that's
what everyone thinks.
This episode, last episode, and then the first episode.
correct way.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So we're split right down the middle on that, and I'm sure it'll get more interesting once we have more episodes to throw into the mix. But for now, that's all the time we have for this episode. We will be back next week. But Dean, where can the people on the internet find you?
Find me on Twitter at DeanLewis2099. Find me on Instagram. I think it's the same. It might not be. Just follow me on Twitter. I'm funnier there.
Sarah,
and find me on.
Oh, sorry.
No, do your last one. Go.
And find me
keep going.
on
Dude. I'm sorry.
SEN After Live on Wednesdays and Fridays. That's it.
Woo. Oh,
whenever there's a gap in the talking, I have to roll the dice to see if the person is going to start talking again in 5 seconds because I'm behind everybody else. So I'm so sorry. This episode has just been me interrupting everybody. Listen, Sarah, I do it on purpose with
Nothing
you.
new.
It's on purpose. Then.
Oh, Shawn.
All right, so where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at SCBOC, SSEABOCK. I had to remember that because normally I just read it off the screen. And then you can find me and Jay Wade host Go Get That Rose, our Bachelor and Bachelorette, All Things Bachelor podcast. It started out kind of just trashing the show. I have since fallen in love with the show. I'm very passionate about it now. And Jay just trashes the show. So it's a really good dynamic. It's a lot of fun. We really do just trash everyone. So yeah, it's we go live Wednesdays at 7 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, check us out there. And I miss making fun of Shawn.
All right.
So thanks for having me.
Well,
I've enjoyed this.
He
doesn't like me anymore. He doesn't invite me on shows anymore.
I was going to say, we might have a chance for that because did you see the WandaVision got its release date?
I did. January.
Are we doing the WandaVision show?
I was just thinking about that today. Yeah. Is this an invitation? Are you extending?
It's an invitation because I said one of the first things I said to Jay was I want to do a WandaVision show.
Do you want to go on this journey with me again?
It's not up to me. It's up to Josh. It's up to Josh to decide who does the WandaVision show. But
so
I want to do it. And whoever wants to do it, come along.
Let's go.
All right, let's fucking do it. Sarah, Dean,
let's just do it right now.
Maybe Wade.
Okay.
Wade wants to do
so
it.
That
all right, WandaVision episode
I would definitely love to do it. I'll just throw that in there right now. I think that would be a blast.
All right.
Okay. Well, maybe that'll be
free-for-all.
the crew. But for now, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK, and you guys can find this show and others on the Merc with Movie Blog podcast feed, which can be located on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Radio Public, Breaker, Overcast, and sometimes on YouTube, depending on the show. SEN Afterlife, I believe, is on YouTube. And you guys can also follow Merc with Movie Blog on Twitter at MovieBlogMerc. This show is live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so join us then, and we will see you guys in a week.